Don't give up, you know it's true. You gotta do what you wanna do.
Hello, welcome to UPSC Gangsters. This is Arjun Aryan, and I'll be taking you through the business and economics news part of the Hindu newspaper. So this news bulletin, this analysis is for the date 24th September. Alright, so let's start. The first news, the heading of it: lower duty drawback rate may hit textile exports. Subheading: exporters concerned over delay in GST refund. So again, the GST refund has been the hot topic from the economics sphere for the past a week or 10 days. So let's get on with the news. The first point: the sharp reduction drawback rates announced by the government for textile and clothing products may slow down exports of these goods, according to the industry. So they have reduced the drawback rates, alright, and this they feel will reduce the exports from the textile industry, from the textile and clothing industry's end. So what is the drawback rate? Alright, drawback rates are essentially the rate at which refunds and deductions provided for imported goods used for the production of goods that are meant for export. Alright, so please listen to it carefully. So drawback rates, alright, are the rate at which refunds are done for the imported goods. Okay, so this imported good will be used for the production of products inside the country which are meant to be exported in future. So when you're exporting that, alright, that particular commodity, you will have a refund. Alright, so that is only known as the and the rate at which this refund will happen is the drawback rate. Alright, so the refund will be provided at the time of the export. Alright, there are conditions with respect to the time period within which the good is supposed to be exported after registering for the drawback duty and all. Alright, so within that time frame, using the imported goods that has been imported by you, you have to finish that commodity that is meant for export. Alright, so this is what drawback rate actually means. Alright, it gives you some sort of a concession for the imported goods that you're gonna use for the goods that are supposed to be exported from your firm. Alright, so using the imported goods, you're making some commodity and you're gonna export it to other countries. So for that, to encourage export even from that end, they are providing drawback rates. Alright, so there's next point under this: the drawback rate announced for garments is 2% as against 7.7% earlier. In the case of made-ups, it was 7.3% and has been reduced to 2% now. So there is a huge decrease. This is not good. Alright, there has been a huge decrease. There has been a 5.7% decrease. Alright, so this they feel will hit the textile industry, which is obvious. Alright, so you're gonna import something to actually boost up the export. Alright, exports from the textile and clothing industry, and they have reduced really a lot. Alright, so therefore they feel exports will be obviously hit by this. Alright, and next point: working capital issue. The excise and service tax components have been subsumed under the goods and services tax, and only the basic customs duty is refunded under the drawback scheme. So note this point: the excise and service tax components, have been subsumed, alright, by the GST. So when these things are kind of subsumed by the GST, alright, you will not be getting any refund for these things, for the service taxes and the excise that has been paid in a state. Alright, so those things will not be refunded to you finally under the GST. So the continuation of the point, only the basic customs duty is refunded under the drawback scheme. So only the basic customs duty is refunded. So you get an idea, right? So all those service taxes and the state taxes that are paid by these textile corporations and companies, they will not be getting a refund for it under the goods and services regime, goods and services tax. All right, so let's go to the next point. Same point, next line. But the reduction in drawback rates is steep and the GST system is not working as expected, said industry sources. There is a delay in refund of the input tax under GST. So that you definitely know there has been an issue with the input tax credit that is happening right now. Alright, so that has been repeated here. So what they're saying is drawback rate has also been reduced, and all those state taxes and service taxes that are paid will not be refunded under the GST, along with the input tax getting delayed, the input tax credit getting delayed. All these factors are gonna hit the textile and clothing industry really bad, alright, which is really kind of not good for the economy. Alright, and we are slowing down as of now. We were in 7 point something and we are in 5 something. Alright, and a move like this could definitely affect the textile industry. Alright, so next point under this, the government should extend the transitional provision for duty drawback and rebate of state levies till the end of March next year, said industry representatives. So rebate of state levies mean those state taxes that have been charged, they will be refunded. Alright, so the government should extend the transitional provision for duty drawback and rebate of state levies till the end of March next year. So rebate of state levies should be extended till the March of next year, they are saying. There's already a rebate, alright, that has been in force, and that would actually should be actually kind of extended till next year and March. So until then, at least, if these provisions are being made, there are chances for the textile industry and clothing industry to float comfortably. Alright, so that is their demand. So next point, a major area of concern for exporters is the inordinate delay in refund of GST. Same point again, said Ujjwal Lahoti, chairman of Cotton Textiles Export Promotion Council. Exporters who shipped their goods in July are yet to receive refund of input tax credits or IGST. This has caused serious working capital problems for a large number of exporters. This is the general problem that is happening with the input credit refund. Alright, so input credit. Alright, so input tax credit. So generally, when input tax credit has been held by the government and it's not been released, the thing is they are not getting that money in their hand. Alright, and business is all about rotation of the funds that is currently available with them. And it is not happening as of now because the refunds have not been initiated by the government yet. So these problems are adding to the tension in the industry. Alright, next point. Currently the ROSL scheme, which is nothing but rebate of state levies. Alright, so the ROSL scheme provides for refund of state levies on export goods for garments and made-ups. Alright, so that is the current scenario. Do note it down. So the ROSL scheme currently provides refund for state levies and on export goods for garments and made-ups. Last point. However, the scheme does not cover the embedded state levies such as electricity tax and market cess from fiber to made-ups, he said. Alright, so the scheme does not cover embedded state levies such as electricity tax and market cess from fiber to made-ups. Alright, from fiber level to the entire commodity. Made-up means the entire commodity. Fiber level means the initial level. Fiber level and made-up level. Alright, so do remember that made up means the entire cloth, a shirt, a pant, or whatever that is. Fiber means starting from the clothing material, starting from the threads. Alright, from that till the product is completed, the state levies such as electricity tax and market cess, they do not get covered under the ROSL scheme. Alright, so remember that. This news piece is done with this. Let's get on to the next news piece. So next news piece, the heading states, legacy issues to dog banking, press trust of India. Let's get on with the first point. The risk and regulatory outlook for the banking sector in 2017-18 is expected to be dictated by unresolved issues from the previous year, with a plethora of macro-prudential developments, said a report. So what is going to be the main point of focus discussion of this year would be those unresolved issues. One of the things that is going to be discussed majorly is going to be those unresolved issues from the previous year. Alright, so let's get on to the next point. Unresolved business from the previous year includes addressing cyber risks, recovery of non-performing loans, strengthening credit underwriting and early warning systems, and capital optimization. The CII Deloitte report on paradigm shift in banking said. Alright, Deloitte. I think the pronunciation is Deloitte or Deloitte. Alright. So anyway, so these are the unresolved issues, business issues that are supposed to be discussed. Alright, the new impending issues these are. So make a note of it. So I'll say this again, unresolved business from the previous year. Alright, addressing cyber risks, recovery of non-performing loans, strengthening credit underwriting and early warning systems. So here the cyber risks involving the banking system. So everything is maintained in a server, all the accounts, the details, and there are a lot of online transactions that take place. You have NEFT, you have IMPS, so you have the bank transfers and all that. So how are these things secured? Alright, are they really secure? So those kind of things will be the point of focus, one of the things that will be the point of focus here. Next one, non-performing loans. Non-performing loans are those loans, alright, who are not performing literally, in the sense they are not gaining any interest anymore. Alright, so if you get a loan, if a bank gives a loan, alright, if a bank gives a loan to a person, alright, and he is not actually paying up, alright, the interest and all that. So beyond a point, he is completely not paying, and the loan, alright, the loan amount is also not recovered, and the interest is also not recovered. Alright, maybe the person is dead, or maybe the person is bankrupt, or maybe the person is actually he has left the country and all that. So whatever it is, when something like this happens, alright, when the loans are not getting fulfilled, in the sense they are not finishing the term and their interests and the loans are not returned, they will amount to non-performing assets. So therefore a loan becomes a non-performing asset when the loan is not recovered or the interest payments are not being made. Alright, so that is a serious problem with our banking system. There has been a rise in non-performing assets, but don't think that this is because of the people and all that. Non-performing assets from the corporate side has increased. Alright, that is the fact. Non-performing assets from the corporate companies, alright, they have increased, not from the normal citizens. Alright, so the next point that is going to be the point of the area of focus, alright, that is going to be early warning systems. Early warning systems in the sense, those indicators that there's going to be an economic crash, or there's going to be some sort of a slowdown, all that. Alright, so those are known as early warning systems. So those things should also be discussed. There should be some sort of a standard that comes and helps people know or warn them about the economic downfalls or something that is negative that is going to happen to the economy or the monetary system. All right. Next thing is capital optimization. So this is the literal meaning. All right. So the capital is gone. The capital has been given or taken, and using it to its full potential. That is what it means. And the CII. All right. So these are the points. All right. Under this. So, the same point, next line, due to potential risks of new entrants like the fintech companies, it is expected that banking regulations will focus on unassessed risks that are a byproduct of these technologies. So, what are fintech companies? Alright, they are financial technology companies. Alright, so the examples of these kind of companies would be Paytm, and MobiKwik and all that. Alright, and those companies that are relying on mobile payments, the Airtel money and all that. Right, so financial technology or fintech is a new technology and innovation that aims to compete with traditional financial methods. Alright, so these are the competitions for the already established banking institutions, the traditional ones, the already available ones. Alright, so and these systems, these fintech corporations also deliver financial services. So they use, for example, they use smartphones for mobile banking, or they use the other internet and all that for investing services. So these are all the examples of technologies aiming to make financial services more accessible, easier to the general public. Alright, so these things are gonna cover the general public even more. Alright, so widespread. So these things are essentially digital. Alright, so these are all made up of the electronic media, like in the sense internet and mobile phone, network technology and all that. So how far are these things secure? That is the new question now, because there has been a rise in India of late on mobile payments and internet banking, and in the sense the other fintech companies. Alright, I'm not talking about the traditional banks, those things like Paytm and MobiKwik and all that. Alright, there has been a rise in India for these kind of technologies and these kind of financial services. These kind of things have not been seen in USA. So it means that we don't have any sort of an indicator, or we don't have any sort of past experience to learn from. Alright, so past mistakes, or what are the things that are supposed to be done? Is there any guidelines? Are there any guidelines or frameworks to be followed to ensure security and sustainability and all that? It is not there. So that is going to be a huge issue right now. Alright, so they're going to focus on this fintech corporations of how secure or how they should be regulated and all that. So that is going to be the new issue this time. Alright, so these are actually the most important business and economics related news for the date of 24th September. In the Hindu we didn't have more. It was all about the American economy and all that. Not even the pointers about that. How speculated the investments, the economy is gonna turn out, and how it's gonna reflect in the US population and all that. So it was about that, and certain things about some Japanese companies investing in US again. Alright, so there is a lot of speculation and all that, which is not needed for us right now, because what we need is facts, what we need are theories, what we need are those definitions and those frequently used things on the news that is very recent. Alright, so those things related to economics and business which are very recent. Alright, that's the reason why they ask you so many things from the economics side, because it is the same examination, alright, for the IRS aspirants too. Alright, so the basic Indian revenue services, basically those people also give the same examination. Alright, so therefore enough dose for economics will always be given, and it will never be reduced, because they think that this will suffice. Alright, so economic questions that are being asked for the prelims and in the mains, alright, those questions that are based on economics and business, they think this will suffice for an Indian revenue service administrator. Alright, do you understand that? So therefore it means the questions from this will never go down. Alright, they will never cut down on economics part. Alright, because if they do that, IRAs, cannot be taken from those recruits cannot be made from this examination. Understood? So, all right, let's see in the next news analysis. So I'll see you. Until then, take care.